Hi, Parke Hafner from Hafner Vineyard here again, standing in front of our caves with barrel fermented Chardonnay going in the background. I talk a little bit about barrel fermentation today. We do barrel fermenting for our two different Chardonnays. And barrel fermenting is when you put the juice into the barrels for alcoholic fermentation. The reason we do that is because it integrates the oak flavor from the barrels in a very lovely way. Just adds a softness, a richness to the wine without any aggressive characters, as opposed to putting a finished wine into a barrel. So for the main Chardonnay, about half of the wine is barrel fermented, and that's what we're looking at here. Further in the cave is the reserve Chardonnay, which is 100% barrel fermented. And the reserve was inspired by my time working in Burgundy the year before we built the winery here. They did barrel fermentation for all of their Chardonnay, and so we follow some of their ideas in our reserve program. The interesting thing about barrel fermentation is, as you may or may not know, alcoholic fermentation is a heat-producing reaction. So although we put the juice into the barrels at about 48 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, at the peak of fermentation, that fermenting juice will have warmed up to about 73 to 75 degrees. Because of that, there is less of the varietal character at the end of fermentation than if we were to ferment it cold in a stainless steel tank. But what we get in place of that is a real richness from the barrels, and we find it's particularly important to do this with new barrels, because with new barrels, if you put a finished wine in, it just tastes like hard. You get this hard oak character, which is not very appealing to us in the wine. But when you put juice in, it tends to incorporate that oak flavor in a way that's very lovely. It's a little bit more subdued, adds a little more mid-palate richness, but we'll still notice the citrus, the grapefruit character how we describe our varietal character of Chardonnay here. A little less of the pear and maybe tropical fruit that we might get from stainless steel fermentation. But for us, it's all about mixing certain flavors to make the best wine we can. So for our main Chardonnay, as I mentioned, we use both tank fermentation and barrel fermentation to get the flavor profile and the quality that we're looking for in that wine. Just in conclusion, barrel fermentation for us is just one of those techniques in our palette of winemaking techniques that allows us to add complexity and nuances to the wine that we feel improve the character. And hopefully you'll agree with us when you try the wine.